Welcome to It's Supposed to Be Heavy with Jermiah Blunt, a show about strength, longevity, and building a body that carries you well for decades. Because resistance creates adaptation, and some things are supposed to be heavy. Let's get to work.
Hi, my name is Jermiah Blunt. I'm a personal trainer out of Franklin, Tennessee. I'm the creator of Heavy-ish Method, and today we are going to talk about why people can't squat 1.5 times their body weight.
Coach, dude, how's it going? It's been a while.
It has been a while. About 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I know. I've been slacking recently, just like myself in the gym, not gonna lie. Had to take that vacation.
Yeah,
What have you been hitting lately? Anything new, or you've been trying any new accessory works on top of your usual barbells?
Just being consistent. Consistency is key. Right now, I'm not changing anything. What I personally like to do is to write a program for myself and stick with it. Usually I do 8 to 12 weeks programs. My training style doesn't vary from the way I coach my clients. I mean, it wouldn't be a great thing for me to do something different and then tell people
Makes sense.
how they need to do it.
Well, excited to talk today. Like you said, it's going to be why most people can't squat their body weight in a half. One and a half of their body weight, I guess, the better way to say that. But I know, as in most of it goes, ego prevents a lot of progress.
Absolutely. So usually what happens in a lot of cases, just men are competitive, right?
Yeah.
Pushing yourself is one thing. If you're shooting for a PR, sometimes, you have a little leeway. But when you're actually in the gym and you're hitting it and you're keeping track of your numbers, which I suggest everybody to do, even if you only track your primary lifts and not worry about your secondary or accessory work, at least track your primary lifts. That way you can just be consistent. If we were to do a scale of 1 to 10, right? 10 being super, super heavy, 1 just being light as a feather, I like to train my clients somewhere around a 7 and 8. And that way their form's on point, they're pushing themselves, they're exerting themselves, they're really giving me their best, because once we start pushing a little bit harder, yes, some people with years and years of experience can probably push themselves and go as hard as they can and still keep great form, but that's not for your average person, right? And that's what I deal with is your average person, so I try to give them that leeway, and, that way we can get through our sets, get through our reps, but by the time you reach your fourth set of 4, they're taxed, they're feeling it, and when you try to push more, especially as a man, if you're lifting with somebody, competitiveness is great. It should be in the workplace. It should be in your life. You should always be competitive, especially as a man. But don't let that affect your lifting. Don't let that affect your safety, because at the end of the day, if someone squatted a few more pounds than you, but you were safe, injury can set you back months, where you can continue and be consistent and make up those few pounds in a short amount of time.
Sure. Kind of like going into that whole technique style, there's been times where I felt a little bit stronger one day, and I'm like, I'll add 10, maybe 15 pounds if I'm feeling super ego. And I felt the knees kind of buckle in on themselves. And for me, I know as soon as that happens, I just throw it on the rack as soon as possible. Not to toot my own horn, but not everyone is that acknowledgeable of their limits, and they're just going to keep trying to go down.
Well, like I said, safety is primary key above all else. Weights are not dangerous, but we put ourselves in situations that make them dangerous. Proper form is, like I said, is absolutely key over anything. And when you talk to a lot of people, no matter the style of training, either it be CrossFit, bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, or strength training, everybody's going to talk about form. Form is absolutely key. Bodybuilders use form and technique to really focus, and mind muscle connection, time under tension, all these things that come with form that you necessarily can't do. And if you feel yourself, which there's certain movements which sometimes in the beginning you may shake a little bit, that's understandable, but as your form gets better and as you get stronger, you shouldn't be pushing yourself to shake every single time, right? But like I said in the beginning, it's understandable, especially with the bench press. A lot of people will start off in the bench press, and a lot of things are going on in that time in their mind. They're uncomfortable, they're nervous, and they'll find that their arms are shaking, and that's a natural response. Sometimes, when you're deadlifting, your knees may shake a little bit, but making sure you have a proper form, making sure that, you're taking all safety precautions as necessary.
Kind of flowing into that safety precautions and being aware. We know people that use knee straps, belts, braces galore.
Mm-hmm.
And for like a power lifter, for example, who is trying to hit that like insane 500-pound PR because that's just what they've been training for nonstop, 24/7. Are those knee guards or knee wraps and belts like that, is that more just helpful, or is it a little more necessary when you need them with the shoes and all
So that's going to probably vary between clients. I mean, I always suggest, a back brace, a lifting belt if you are getting into heavier numbers, just for precautions. I would not use it all the time. If you were going to do like a ramping warm-up set, don't use it until you get to your actual working sets. For some people that may have major knee issues, there's straps, there's knee braces, there's wraps, there's other things you can use for your knees and your elbows, all these different things. It's just choose wisely. Don't be dependent on it, right? Because the only way you're going to make yourself better is by putting you in uncomfortable positions. But if you automatically, from warm up to get go, and you have your braces on, you have your straps on, you have your lifting belt on, all these different things from the get go, you're not actually going to improve yourself. You'll get stronger, yeah, but you got to look at your overall body. We're not just talking about muscles here. We're talking about tendons, ligaments, all of it. We want to be safe. We want to be just cautious, but still, we're not going to grow if we're not uncomfortable.
Yeah. Do you think that kind of plays into the fear a lot of people have? Because you see videos of people trying to hit these weights and then the bar collapses on them,
right,
and they fall to the ground. Is that like a thing? Or
well, I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
I can walk out here and trip over a curb and then throw out my knee. I mean, things are going to happen, but we want to take all precautions to make sure that doesn't happen, And like I said in the beginning, as you're warming up, I wouldn't use those type of things, but if that's a fear, make sure that you are using your safety bars. Make sure that you're taking all precautionary options, make sure that, the weight is even on both sides, because I see it quite often where people are loading the bar and then they get talking, and next thing you know, they're trying to bench press and they got 2 plates on one side, 1 plate on the other, and next thing you know, whoop, and the bar's flipped, right? So make sure that you're doing everything you need to do. And, fear is a healthy tool, right? I mean, fear in a lot of things. And for some of you that are terrified of getting in the gym and things like that, it may be good for your mental health also to help you battle that fear.
Yeah, it really helps with that evolution, especially when trying to push to that new weight that you may be hitting or something like that. I like that. What's one lesson you wish you knew before chasing your 1.5 of your body weight for your squat?
Take time, right? Especially in my younger years of training, I wanted to rush things and do things, and I just wanted it now. It's always good to have a goal, but enjoy the experience, right? And that's my suggestion to a lot of people is enjoy the experience of your growth. Enjoy the fact that your body's changing. Enjoy the fact that you are building a community. Maybe you're in a public gym and you're meeting other people. Just enjoy the experience, because the more you enjoy it, the more you're going to want to go. The more you want to go, the more you're going to be consistent. The more you're consistent, the more you're going to grow. So just, stop chasing things and enjoy the experience as well.
As they say, the memories are in the journey, not the destination.
Right.
A lot of people think, oh, I have chicken legs. I'm never going to hit my whatever you weigh and a half body weight. I'm never going to hit that 225. A lot of people will just throw that around just in general. Is weak legs an actual problem, or is that more, again, to that mindset and they just accept the fact that they can't do it rather than even...
No, weak legs is not good. I mean, we should always be striving to have good, strong legs. I mean, you got to think about what we do in the day-to-day life. We walk, we go up steps, we have to hop, we have to skip, we have to do things, we have to bend down, we have to stand up, we have to pick up, we have to, carry backpacks, we have to do all these things, and if you have good legs, good, strong legs, the rest of your body will follow. No one should ever, I know there's the gym bro thing where a lot of people talk about where the guy doesn't have any legs and he has this huge beefy upper body and just doesn't, don't do that. Don't be that guy.
The whole V build.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Have a well-established rounded body, Do you have to be absolutely jacked? No, but that's also not the people that I train. I'm not trying to train these jacked people. I'm trying to reach out to people that may be scared, trying to reach out to people that are just beginning, trying to reach out to people that think that, oh, I don't want to work out because I'm going to get big and bulky and look, that's just not how it works, right? There's a lot of things that you have to take in consideration for that. But absolutely, even if you didn't really work your upper body that much, try to hit your back and your legs if that's it. Just make sure those things are good and you're going to feel good.
Awesome. Kind of on the opposite of progressive overload, because I know that's one thing you really preach is push your working weight as much as you can. If you feel a little bit stronger, go a little bit higher. But on the inverse of that, how often do you see people plateau? Like, for example, when I work out on my own without you or anything like that, I might do a 10 set working rate, weight rep, maybe 12 if I can feel it. But when do you recommend if someone's hitting like a 10 rep set? If you are like, what reps should you really be kind of starting to get gassed?
So it just depends on what you're necessarily doing. I focus on the lower rep range for strength, so my guys do sets of 4 to 6. If you're looking to, build a little bit more muscle, more of a body building style, it's going to be 6 to 8. There's different styles. There's a bunch of different styles. I've known guys that would not count reps. I know guys that wouldn't count reps until they started burning. There's different different training styles, but whatever you choose, be consistent with it, track it, and that's the biggest thing. But the biggest thing is when it comes to that plateau and everything is your body's going to adapt, push through it, don't stop. Like even if you do, even try for one more rep. If you're training in a 4x4 style and you're hitting a plateau and you just can't get it, stop trying to add weight and just work for another rep, right? If you're doing a 4-4-4-4 but you're not getting it and it's looking like a 4-3-2-1, for example, the next time shoot for a 4-4-2-1. Yeah. And then the time after that, 4-4-3-1, just showing it, putting in the extra rep still means you're getting stronger, and just keep pushing. If you push and be consistent, you're going to push through your plateau.
Nice. Just kind of one question for me and the audience as well, before we kind of call it for today's episode. What is a realistic expectation when it comes to timeline on hitting that 1.5 body weight? Do you expect like a year?
Some people are hyper responsive, some people aren't. Some people are eating the protein, some people aren't. Some people are drinking the water, some people aren't. Some people are sleeping, some people aren't.
Yeah.
I would say roughly, if you push and you work hard and you're consistent, you hit the gym, you get your sleep, you drink your water, you eat your food, are you following a macro system? Are you in a calorie surplus? Are you in a calorie deficit? Like all these questions can be thrown out and asked. Yeah. Exactly. But if I was to put a number out there, depending on where you started, obviously, for someone that's been just freshly starting the gym, they're going to be hyper responsive on most cases. And I would say roughly anywhere between 9 to 10 months. Your body has no reason to get strong if you never ask it.
Thanks for listening to It's Supposed to Be Heavy with Jermiah Blunt. Train hard, recover well, stay capable, and remember, aging is mandatory. Weakness is optional. See you next time.